Hey ladies, Jackie Sabrin here, and I wanted to talk to you about if you feel like you owe a man something after you go on a date and he buys you dinner. And I think that's a pretty common feeling. A lot of women feel that when a man takes you out on a nice dinner and he springs for the check, that you feel like maybe you're obligated to do something for him, do something beyond, sleep with him, go out with him again, be really nice to him. And so I want to just clear up any confusion and share with you where I stand on this. So where I stand on this is no, you don't owe him a thing. And I think that sometimes we project onto men that they expect us to sleep with them or do something for them. And I would say that that comes into your value and your worth and your belief system. So if you're feeling that, there's a couple things that could be happening. You're one, projecting that based on your history, your relationship history, or two, it's actually happening. He actually is expecting you to sleep with him or do something for him because you've done something that would lead him to believe that you will do something. Or the third part is that you haven't done anything at all and he still wants you to do something for him. And so it just depends. And so we always want to look at our own behavior, right? Sometimes you just miss the clues, you miss the signals, and you end up on a date and somebody's expecting more than you were promising, and then there's a little awkward moment. So it's really important to have really good, healthy boundaries when you're dating. So you want to be looking at your frequency, the vibration you're sending out. And it changes from day to day. And that's why I want you all to take my soulmate assessment. I'm going to be talking about it a lot over the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to be making a lot of these short, quick little videos. So please drop a topic in the box because this is an important topic, but I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about it. So sometimes we feel obligated to do something because we don't feel we're worth it. We don't feel hi Michelle. We don't feel that we down deep, this is not on the surface. On the surface, you know you're worth it. Intellectually, you get it. Of course you're worth it. But down deep, you go out and you feel a little intimidated and you start to feel like there's an obligation. And there's absolutely no obligation. You have to get that out of your head because that's where it started, thinking that you have to reciprocate with some kind of physical, donation to the pot. So it really comes from your worth and your belief system, and that changes over time because it's a perception that you have about yourself. So your job when you're on dating is to create a perception for the man, the perception that you have a high value and you regard yourself in a way and you value your presence. You value your presence and the fact that you took time out of your busy schedule to be there with him, to delight him, to entertain him, to put a smile on his face. And that's a equitable exchange in my book. And so, no, you don't have to do anything. You certainly don't have to put out. And I'm talking about all the women that want to be in a long-term committed relationship that maybe leads to marriage or some kind of long-term partnership. That is who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to people that want to go out and have a good time and exchange that energy, love energy, money energy for sex energy, whatever. That's all great and fine. And but that's not what I'm talking about here. So your frequency, the vibration you put out can change. Maybe something happens to you that day. Maybe you get a big bill in the mail, or maybe you're alone during this holiday season, which you're single, you're alone. And so it starts to dip your self-esteem. You start feeling a little dip, and especially during the holidays. That's why you really want to be aware of it. Start to feel like, well, maybe I'm not going to meet anybody. All those doubts start to creep in. And then you go out and now that affects your temperament. It affects your the way you show up and your confidence. And so then you're starting to feel like, maybe I should be extra nice and let him kiss me more than I really want him to kiss me. And you're starting to make all these exceptions. But I just really, really caution you to not do that because when you do that, you send out a mixed signal. That's why I talk a lot about frequencies and energy. You're thinking, I really want to get married, but you're behaving in a way that doesn't back up and align with the fact that you want to get married. So you have to get your thoughts, words, and deeds all on the same page. Everything you think about, everything you say, and everything you do have to be congruent to, I want to be married, I want to be in a long-term committed relationship. And believe me, there was a time that I was all over the place. I was thinking about one thing, saying something else. The things that would come out of my mouth would be furthest from my behavior. So I was a walking contradiction. So I really know what I'm talking about. But it wasn't until I committed to following through with my word, keeping my word to myself, that I would start to change my behavior that matched what I really wanted out of life. And so our behaviors come from habits. So it's habits. So you have to start forming the habits of feeling really good about going out with a man and not putting out the energy that you're offering anything more than your beautiful presence, because that is enough, and keeping in mind that what your intention is, that you want to have a long-term relationship, and you're not going to settle until you have that. And that kind of vibe, you can lean back with that because you've already decided, you've committed. And that's the thing, you want a man to commit to you, but you have to commit to you. You have to commit to your own journey, that you're going to do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to have what you want. And I've talked about this before. What if it takes 5 years? That seems like a long time, right? Well, I was single for 8 years, but what if it takes 5 years? So what? I mean, if you were married and happily ever after in 5 years, you wouldn't care about those 5 years. We're just so stuck on this number, like it has to happen now. The beauty of those 5 years is that you learn so much along the way, and you meet amazing people, and you grow, and it prepares you to have this amazing relationship. So being single for 8 years for me was really important, because I needed to grow up emotionally. I was emotionally really immature, and I'm so glad that I had that time to work on myself and grow myself, because the man that I end up marrying is amazing and a match for me, but the man that I would have ended up with 5 years before would not have been the man that I was able to attract today. So there's some merit into things taking longer, because you end up growing and evolving, and then you're energetically a match. And that's why I want you to take my soulmate assessment if you haven't taken it. And so it's a real quick quiz that you can take that will give you your frequency that you're vibrating at. And then it'll give you a feminine exercise so you can quickly get into alignment. And then also you can take it more than once, because today you might be vibrating at a different place than you were yesterday. And so there's a couple frequencies that you're going to find out. And I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you're the leader, the feeler, or the giver, because that's going to tell you a lot about your belief system, the overgiving, feeling too much, being in victim mode, or leading with your masculine energy. These are all traits that are very common with women when we're dating and wanting to attract a man. They can really sabotage you. So I've made it really easy to figure out where you're at by creating this little quiz. And so I'm going to drop the link to take the quiz in the box below. And if there's a topic that you want me to cover on these short little blitzed coaching calls, I'm going to do that for you all month of December. Because first of all, I got this beautiful new red chair. Not pretty? I love my little red chair. So I have to come up with a really clever name for the little coaching calls I'm going to do in my red chair. It's more fun that way. And everything needs to be fun for me. Life needs to be fun, because I like to find the silver lining in everything. And I want you to all learn how to do that too. Thanks, Annie. I'm glad you like the chair. Not feeling obligated. Yeah, your time is your gift. Yes, your time. Time, ladies, is the most precious asset you have. It is not money. Okay, it's time, because time is not promised. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't get a crystal ball. That's why you have to partner with the unknown, and you have to recognize that your time is the most valuable. So use it wisely. Use it wisely, because you don't know when your time is going to be up. And so, yes, your presence is your gift, and it's worth waiting for. It was worth waiting for Michael. He's an amazing husband, and I met him online, as some of you know, and he was single for years as well, 6 years, and online for 2 years. And so we both went through that process, and it was worth it. And it was worth being single for 8 years to find him. So your soulmate is looking for you right this minute. That's why keep all your words, thoughts, and deeds together, because you won't notice him if you're drifting. If you're thinking about something and you're saying one thing and you're doing something else, he could walk right in front of you and you'll never even notice him. And that's really common. So that's why you have to practice, practice, practice. That's what mastery is. And part of the dating is about you becoming self-mastered, right? Your self-mastery, it's your Jakiology. The more you know about you, the more comfortable you're going to feel with men. So the dating process gives you the opportunity to learn about you. So don't focus so much on what the men are doing. Focus on, what am I doing? What did I say? How did I act? How did I respond to that? And that's going to give you clues into what's going on in the background, so you can start to make those tweaks to your vocabulary, to your behavior, to your posture, to your attitude. And it gives you great feedback when you go on date. That's why I highly recommend deliberate dating, not duty dating. It's deliberate. The difference is that you consciously are making a choice to go with these men so that they can help you mirror, show you how you're showing up. And believe me, they will. If you're paying attention, you will learn a lot about yourself in the process. So, and also you'll learn a lot about yourself by taking the soulmate assessment. So I'm going to drop the link in the box. Hi, Lynn. Nice to see you. Yeah. Michelle, you are such a treasure beyond belief. And you don't forget that. And if you ever forget that, just call me up and I'll tell you, I'll remind you, you're amazing. All of you ladies are, and you're all going to meet somebody really fantastic. You just have to believe it. It starts with your belief. You have to believe it. Your belief creates your experiences. Your experiences create your habits. Habits will create your results. That's why it all has to start with your belief system. So fake it till you make it. If you don't believe it right now, I'm going to give you my belief that I used. I now have a man who loves and adores me. I now have a man who loves and adores me. And I say that as if it's already happened in past tense. And I'm saying it with passion because that ignites a law of attraction. And I'm enthusiastic, and I'm using gratitude. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I have an amazing man in my life. Thank you, universe. So that's what you can say to yourself. That's your belief. So that belief will create experiences that you want to have that will lead to the habits and the results that you want to have. So I hope this was helpful, ladies. It's so nice to connect with you. Post any topics you want me to cover. And remember, you don't owe a man anything when he takes you out. What you owe him is to be polite and courteous if he's polite and courteous as well. And you need to recognize that your belief system and values and self-esteem needs to be bolstered up by you if you're feeling like you owe a man something on a date, because you don't. Okay, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I will hit that topic next time. Lots of love to you. Bye.